Hello everyone, my name is Julie Demi. I'm a Cambridge certified English teacher and a teacher trainer. In this session, I'm going to share with you how I failed Delta Module 2 and how I felt and what I did next. It was my first attempt. I had the second one, which was a successful one. But today I'm going to talk about what to do if you fail while doing Delta Module 2. Let's get started. First of all, I would like to say that Delta Module 2 was a great experience that taught me how to self-reflect in the right way, how to deal with feedback and how to respond to feedback appropriately and have positive reinforcement. As for the course itself, I was incredibly satisfied with my tutors and with the center where I was doing it. I decided to choose an intensive program, which meant that I had to work every single day non-stop. I had to keep myself busy all that time. I delegated everything what I could delegate and I didn't teach at that point. So I was really very lucky and I decided to teach the classes that the center offered kindly. On the one hand, it was a really good experience, but on the other hand, you never know who you will teach. And as a matter of fact, establishing rapport, that's something what you need to consider when you enter the classroom. When you have a choice either to teach your students or to teach the students that the center offers you, I would definitely go with the first option and I would choose the first one, because when you teach your own students, you understand that you established rapport with them before. You know their needs well and you follow them within some period of time. That would be a more pleasant experience for you as a teacher. And it can also positively affect your overall confidence while doing your external assessment lesson. I wouldn't say that it was a very easy module for me, not at all. It was a challenging module and I would say that the first unassessed LSA was a nightmare. I didn't do well at all and well, that's definitely something what I'm not really proud of, but at the same time it was something what I perceived as good learning experience, and it taught me a lot what to do, what not to do, how to write an assignment, what to include, how to format the assignment, how to edit it, and many other things. I had to prepare 2 systems assignments and 2 skills assignments. I decided that my final external assessment lesson will be the skills, and it was writing. I decided to teach the students how to write a formal email, but then I decided to ask my tutors what they thought about that, and I remember that they told me that it was kind of a trivial topic and that everyone was that it might not be interesting for the students, and I could probably have taken something more interesting, challenging, and so on and so forth. They suggested me to do blogging, and I understand that these days blogging is definitely something what is really relevant, though I don't really think that everyone needs it, first of all. And second of all, at that point, I wasn't afraid of a challenge. So I decided to embrace the challenge and I decided to deep dive into the research, some articles related to blogging and the discourse of blogging. My background assignment was about writing blogging and how to write it. And my lesson was the skill of writing. So I was about to teach the students how to write a blog post about some particular place. And I decided to come up with a city where the students were from, and they had to write about the place that they knew very well. And it was a relatively interesting experience. Students had good fun, but I would say that I personally didn't find they learned a lot. And as you know, there should be a sense of achievement. So I would say that the lesson was relatively long, and I saw that and my writing was 95% ready, since it was an intensive program and I didn't have enough time to polish and nail everything. So as a matter of fact, you can probably understand that I lacked some time and probably some good time management. I think I failed the first time. When I received my portfolio assessment, it was a pass. And when I received the assessment of my external lesson, it was fail. Unfortunately, I had to redo the external lesson, but fortunately, my portfolio was accepted and it was a pass. pass. So that was the green light, and the only one thing what I had to do, I had to prepare the external lesson. The second time when I was preparing, I listened to my inner voice, I listened to what I personally wanted to teach, and I came up with the initial idea of teaching how to write a formal email at work. And I would say that first of all, I saw that students liked it, they found it helpful, they found it relevant, and they even thanked me after the lesson because in fact they told me that they hadn't had that opportunity to practice business writing in their institutions. With all respect to the tutors that you have, they are human beings and they have their perception of the teaching process, of the needs analysis and some other things. So you understand that you teach the students, and after the first unassessed session, you have some understanding of your students' needs and you can understand the profiles of the students. If you see that your students need English for work and this is the field that you are also quite interested in, then it would be a really good match to do what you consider to be important. You can also discuss it with your peers, what was taught before your session and what will be taught after your sessions. Right now, I'm talking about the students who the institution provides you with. So that's something what I had. That's a great thing actually, that you can have a chance to do Delta Module 2 and teach the learners who are provided by the institution. Though you should be really aware, first of all, you never know how many people will show up. Second of all, you should understand that you need to deal with latecomers and you need to really deal with them carefully because it may happen that they show up at the end of the lesson and you need to understand what to do with them. You need to take the decision whether to allow them in or probably to ask them kindly to wait until the next session and probably just guide them what you gave other students in the class. So that's the thing that you need to consider. If you fail one complete language system and if you fail one complete language skills assessment, and even if you fail PDA, your professional development assignment, you can pass. It depends on the overall situation with your portfolio and also it depends on your external assessment, which is really important, and the background assignment in particular. It's quite common to fail the assignments, especially the first ones, the unassessed assignment. Like in my case, I failed my unassessed assignment. I had some positive response regarding my teaching, but it was not pass for my writing and vice versa. And I remember that the external assessment was something what could change and I could pass it, but if I failed the external, I wouldn't pass it. In my case, I failed Module 2 and I was self-reflecting, analyzing what I did wrong. First of all, I should have listened to myself. I knew the profile of the students. I also knew what I was quite good at and what I wasn't quite good at, and most importantly, what I will mainly work with in the future and what I will probably never work with. The most important thing is you should understand that you are the decision maker and you should definitely ask for some recommendations. However, weigh them carefully and try to understand what you personally think is the right way. If your background assignment is written in a neat way and respecting all the requirements, if you teach in a good way, then it won't be a problem at all. The second thing that I would probably suggest, if you have a choice to teach your students, I think that it might be a better option, and I would definitely dedicate more time to formatting and editing. I'm also aware of my poor referencing, which is really important in such writing for Cambridge. So at that point, I probably didn't take it so seriously, and I didn't think that format might affect the whole work and the marking, but in fact it does. And I would say that you need to respect what you refer to, how you refer to, how you relate to some sources of information, and that's really important. You should definitely read it carefully and you should analyze how to arrange it in the right way. And And yes, Delta Module 2 is a challenge, but that's something what is manageable. And I would definitely say that it's a good idea to do some research together with your peers and be friends, not enemies. You're not the competitors there. No one is better or worse, and that's something what should be clear. So I would say that it's really important to support each other, to provide some appropriate feedback, and when you observe your peers, it's really important to provide this feedback and to ask whether it is relevant or not, and also to self-reflect. So all the time try to think what you might do in the same shoes and which decision you might take in one situation or another. Another thing what I would do differently, I would definitely contact my tutors more frequently. I was a little bit embarrassed to contact them whenever I needed, and in fact I think it was my mistake. I should have contacted them with my queries and my questions, something what bothered me and something what I didn't understand clearly, and I was kind of embarrassed to ask them about referencing another time or asking them. It might be really very helpful. I think it was odd from my side not to ask them about it, but I don't know what happened, and I just probably I was thinking too much what other people would think about me, and you shouldn't really think what other people would think about you. There shouldn't be any judgment, no matter what happens. So even if you fail, you should understand the most important thing. This is your lesson. This is something what taught you how not to do, what to change. And if you understand, if you're aware of what you need to change in the future, you will definitely pass another time, like it was in my case, and it was a very nice experience. I was so happy, and I had the same assessor. It's not about the assessor, it's not about your tutor, it's just about you personally and your perception. So don't try to blame anyone, don't think that it's the end of the world, don't think that life is unfair, don't lose faith in anything. It's just your path in life that you need to follow. And yes, some people pass after the first trial, but in your case, you need to do it the second time. Don't be sad. Perceive it as another practice, perceive it as another experience that you should go through. It will help you deep dive into the subject. And please don't lose your motivation. Yes, you can feel devastated for some period of time. It's true, it hurts, I know that. Give yourself some time to be sad. It may happen. I remember that the day when I received my result, I was incredibly sad and I didn't want to see anyone, and I didn't want to hear something like, okay, don't worry about that. That wasn't the case. Actually, I was really angry, sad, embarrassed, everything all together. I was thinking what other people would think about me. I was thinking what other teachers would think about me. And you know that many teachers have these issues with ego, and well, I'm not an exclusion. I had some issues with my ego, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, that was, at that point for me, it was the end of the world. But in fact, if we look at the issue globally, that's a small thing, and when you have a chance to redo your external assessment, let's say, it's not the end of the world, and you can do it even better and you can enjoy it. Don't blame your tutors, the center, yourself, the earth, whoever, the students. Everything is fine with them. Just there are some things and there are some factors that can influence your outcomes and your final score. It may happen that the combination of events can turn in such way that it might not lead you to success. But the second time when you do it, you know how it goes. And yes, it costs money. Yes, it's not so easy. Yes, you need to dedicate time and organize yourself and do some paperwork and some other things and research. And it's definitely time consuming. But if you look at this from a different perspective, you can see that it can be beneficial. You can learn more. You can discover something from a different perspective. You can self-reflect, and you can make your external lesson such a great experience. You will see the sense of achievement in the eyes of your students who you will teach. All right, guys, I think that's everything. I wish you good luck in your preparation. Don't be sad, and I wish you good luck in your second attempt, and see you in my upcoming videos about Delta Module 2. and 3. Bye!